Hello.
Hi, how are you?
And what's your name?
Mandy Harvey.
And who's this?
My interpreter.
What's your name?
Sarah.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Hi, Sarah.
Doing well, thank you. Hello.
Okay,
When a young woman stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2017 carrying nothing but a ukulele and a dream that seemed impossible, nobody in that audience could have predicted what was about to unfold. What happened next didn't just earn her a golden buzzer from the notoriously hard-to-impress Simon Cowell. It sparked a movement that would ripple across the globe, change school curriculums, inspire millions, and prove that the human spirit can triumph over any obstacle. This is the unbelievable transformation of Mandy Harvey, the deaf singer who silenced the world with her voice. Mandy Harvey possesses an undeniable force that transcends the boundaries of what many believe possible. With her magnetic presence and crystalline voice, she became one of the most talked-about contestants in America's Got Talent history. But her journey to that stage was paved with devastating loss, crushing doubt, and a darkness so profound that she nearly gave up on music forever. From the moment she lost her hearing at just 18 years old to becoming a global inspiration, with over 500 million views on her audition alone, Mandy's story defies every expectation. She faced backlash from critics who questioned her legitimacy, skeptics who couldn't comprehend how a deaf person could sing so perfectly, and her own internal battles with depression and defeat. Join us as we tell you what really happened to Mandy Harvey from America's Got Talent. The stage lights illuminate a young woman with long brown hair as she walks barefoot across the America's Got Talent stage, her ukulele clutched in her hands. The audience buzzes with anticipation, cameras capturing every angle as she approaches the judges' table. Standing there are Simon Cowell, Mel B, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mandel, four industry veterans who have seen thousands of hopefuls but are about to witness something truly extraordinary. Beside Mandy stands a sign language interpreter, and as Simon notices this detail, his expression shifts to one of curiosity mixed with confusion. When he asks about the interpreter, Mandy's response stops everyone cold. She can't hear him. She's completely deaf. The revelation sends shock waves through the auditorium. Mandy explains through her interpreter that she lost all of her hearing when she was 18 years old, right in the middle of pursuing her dream as a vocal music education major at Colorado State University. The culprit was Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a connective tissue disorder that gradually stripped away her ability to hear until she existed in complete silence. Simon leans forward, genuinely intrigued, asking what she'll be performing. Mandy's answer is simple but powerful. An original song she wrote called Try. Her voice steady despite the enormity of the moment, she shares the song's meaning. After losing her hearing, she gave up on everything. But she wants to do more with her life than just surrender to defeat. As Mandy positions herself center stage, slipping off her shoes to feel the vibrations of the music through her bare feet, the audience grows silent. She strums her ukulele, and then she begins to sing. Her voice floats through the theater, pure and pitch-perfect, each note landing with impossible precision for someone who cannot hear a single sound. The lyrics of Try speak directly to her journey, about finding the courage to pursue dreams, even when the world goes silent, about refusing to let circumstances define your destiny. As she sings, something magical happens in that room. Audience members lean forward in their seats, phones raised to capture this moment. Tears begin streaming down faces throughout the crowd. On the judges' panel, Mel B's hand covers her mouth in astonishment. Heidi Klum's eyes glisten with emotion. Then comes the moment that changes everything. As Mandy reaches the final chorus, singing the word try with a gentle laugh in her voice, the entire audience erupts to their feet. The standing ovation begins even before she finishes her last note, the thunder of applause and stomping feet, creating vibrations she can feel through the stage floor. But Simon Cowell isn't standing yet. He sits perfectly still, his face showing an emotion rarely seen from the famously critical judge. His eyes are glistening, his expression a mixture of wonder and profound respect. Without a word, without asking his fellow judges, Simon's hand moves to the button in front of him. Golden confetti explodes across the stage, raining down on Mandy as she stands in shocked disbelief. Simon Cowell has pressed his golden buzzer, sending her straight to the live shows. The aftermath is pure emotion. Mandy's family rushes from the audience, wrapping her in tearful embraces as golden confetti continues to fall around them. She's shaking, crying, unable to fully comprehend what just happened. Simon stands from the judge's table, visibly moved as he addresses her, his voice thick with emotion. He tells her that he doesn't think she needs a translator for this. Looking directly at Mandy, he says those words that will be replayed millions of times. That's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen and heard. Honestly, I never think I'm going to be surprised or amazed by people. And then you turn up. It was your voice, your tone, your song. It was beautiful. The other judges echo his sentiments, each one praising not just her technical ability but the raw courage it took to stand on that stage. The response beyond the theater walls proves equally extraordinary. Within hours, Mandy's audition video explodes across social media platforms. Twitter erupts with reactions, the hashtags trending worldwide as people share their emotional responses. Even Oscar-winning deaf actress Marlee Matlin weighs in, tweeting directly to Simon Cowell and America's Got Talent. Thank you for reaffirming that deaf people can do anything, except here. Bravo, Mandy Harvey! The video accumulates millions of views in its first days, climbing toward what would eventually become over 500 million views collectively across platforms. News outlets from CNN to NBC Nightly News feature her story. People magazine, the Los Angeles Times, and international media pick up the narrative of the deaf singer who moved Simon Cowell to tears. But the journey was far from over, and neither was the scrutiny. As Mandy's fame skyrocketed overnight, the questions began. Some viewers, diving into her background, discovered she wasn't just a hopeful amateur who walked in off the street. Before America's Got Talent, Mandy Harvey had already released 3 jazz albums. She'd won the VSA International Young Soloist Award in 2011 and performed at the prestigious Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. She was a regular performer at respected venues like the Dazzle Jazz Lounge in Denver and Jazz Bistro in Fort Collins, Colorado. Critics emerged claiming the show had misled viewers, that this was a fix, another case of America's Got Talent featuring a professional when audiences expected underdogs. The backlash on forums and comment sections grew heated, with some accusing the show of manipulation and others questioning whether Mandy's deafness was even real given her perfect pitch and timing. What these critics didn't understand was the full story of struggle that brought Mandy to that act stage. The Mandy Harvey who performed at those jazz clubs had clawed her way back from the darkest period of her life. When she lost her hearing completely at 18, she didn't just lose a sense. She lost her entire identity, her future, and very nearly her will to live. As a freshman vocal music education major, her entire life had been built around sound and song. Suddenly thrust into profound deafness, defined officially as the inability to hear any sound below 95 decibels, Mandy spiraled into a depression so severe she contemplated whether life was worth continuing. She left Colorado State University, abandoning the degree and the dream she'd worked her entire childhood to achieve. For months, music ceased to exist in Mandy's world. The thought of singing without hearing seemed not just impossible but cruel, a mockery of what she'd lost. She tried to find other paths, exploring different career options, but nothing filled the void where music had lived. It was her father, a deeply faithful man, who planted the seed that maybe, just maybe, there could be another way. He suggested she try to feel the music rather than hear it. The concept seemed absurd at first, but desperation and the faint glimmer of hope drove Mandy to experiment. Using visual tuners, watching for the lights that indicated correct pitch, she began relearning everything she thought she knew about singing. She practiced standing barefoot, feeling vibrations through the floor. She studied her accompanist's visual cues obsessively, learning to stay on beat by watching movements rather than hearing rhythms. The breakthrough came in 2008 when she met jazz pianist Mark Sloniker at Jazz Bistro. He saw past her disability to the extraordinary talent underneath and agreed to work with her. Together, they developed a system where Mandy could perform professionally despite her complete hearing loss. Her 2009 debut album, Smile, earned praise from Jazz Times magazine, which called her vocals rich and captivating. But even as she built this new career, releasing After You've Gone in 2010 and All of Me in 2014, Mandy struggled with whether she truly belonged in a hearing world's music industry. The decision to audition for America's Got Talent wasn't about seeking fame. It was about finding a platform large enough to share a message that disabilities don't define limitations, that the death of a dream doesn't mean the end of life, and that with determination and adaptation, impossible goals become achievable realities. It was during Mandy's quarterfinals performance that she truly silenced any remaining critics and proved why Simon Cowell had seen something special in her audition. Returning to the AGT stage for the live shows, Mandy knew the stakes had escalated exponentially. Millions would be watching live, voting in real time to determine her fate. She chose to perform another original composition, Mara's Song, a deeply personal piece that showcased not just her vocal abilities but her songwriting prowess. As she walked onto that stage, ukulele in hand and barefoot once again, the audience welcomed her with thunderous applause that vibrated through her body. The performance that followed was nothing short of breathtaking. Mandy's voice soared through the melodies with even greater confidence than her audition, each note perfectly placed despite the silence in which she existed. Her fingers danced across the ukulele strings with practiced precision, her body swaying slightly as she felt the rhythm through the floor beneath her feet. The audience sat transfixed, many openly weeping as they watched this remarkable young woman create beauty from what seemed like impossible circumstances. When she reached the song's emotional climax, the vulnerability in her voice combined with the strength of her performance created a moment of pure magic that television cameras could barely capture. All four judges leaped to their feet before she even finished, initiating a standing ovation that swept through the entire audience like a wave. Howie Mandel, known for his enthusiastic responses, practically bounced with excitement as he praised her growth since the audition. Mel B, visibly moved to tears, called the performance stunning and predicted Mandy would go far in the competition. Heidi Klum, her voice catching with emotion, said Mandy inspired her and everyone watching. But it was Simon Cowell's reaction that spoke volumes. The judge who'd given her the golden buzzer stood with arms crossed, nodding slowly with a satisfied smile that said he'd known all along. She had this in her. His comments were brief but powerful. He told her she was extraordinary, and that she'd just delivered one of the best performances of the season. Social media exploded once again. Twitter users declared Mandy the frontrunner for the entire competition. Instagram comments flooded in by the thousands, with users posting crying emojis and proclamations that she deserved to win. Hashtags related to her performance trended nationally as viewers shared clips and expressed their emotional reactions. Music critics began taking notice too, analyzing her technique and marveling at how she achieved pitch-perfect vocals without auditory feedback. The voting results confirmed what everyone suspected. Mandy received enough votes to advance to the semifinals, beating out her competition and securing her spot among America's Got Talent's top acts. Her semifinals performance of Release Me, where she incorporated sign language while singing, elevated her artistry even further. The combination of her voice, the ukulele, and the graceful movements of American Sign Language created a multi-sensory performance that left audiences breathless. She advanced to the finals, where she performed her original song, this time before joining country music superstar Shania Twain for a duet of You're Still the One during the finale spectacular. When the final votes were tallied, Mandy Harvey finished in fourth place behind winner Darcy Lynn, runner-up Angelica Hale, and third-place Light Balance. But in many ways, the placement mattered less than the journey and the impact she'd created. Today, Mandy Harvey's life reflects the transformation that began on that America's Got Talent stage but extends far beyond the competition itself. While she didn't take home the grand prize, she gained something arguably more valuable, a global platform and a mission that resonates across continents. Her career as a performer has flourished in ways that honor both her talent and her message. She continues to tour extensively, performing at venues across the United States, where audiences pack theaters to witness her extraordinary abilities firsthand. Concert reviews consistently praise not just her voice, which remains as pitch-perfect and emotionally resonant as ever, but her stage presence and the inspirational messages she shares between songs about perseverance, adaptation, and finding joy in unexpected places. Her discography has continued to grow since ACT, Following the competition, Mandy released Nice to Meet You in 2019 and Paper Cuts in 2022, her fourth and fifth albums respectively. Her music streams millions of times monthly on Spotify, where she maintains approximately 35,000 monthly listeners, a devoted fan base that connects deeply with her artistry. The song Try, which earned her Simon Cowell's Golden Buzzer, has been streamed over 4 million times on Spotify alone and continues to inspire listeners around the world. Her YouTube presence remains strong, with her act performances collectively reaching hundreds of millions of views and introducing new audiences to her story daily. Perhaps even more significantly, Mandy has embraced her role as a motivational speaker and disability advocate with the same passion she brings to her music. She serves as an ambassador for No Barriers USA, an organization dedicated to helping people break through personal barriers and unleash their potential. She's also an ambassador for the Invisible Disabilities Association, using her visibility to advocate for those whose challenges aren't immediately apparent to others. Her speaking engagements take her to schools, conferences, and events where she shares her journey with raw honesty, discussing not just her successes but her struggles with depression, doubt, and the ongoing challenges of navigating a hearing world without sound. In 2017, the same year as her ACT appearance, Mandy co-authored a memoir with Mark Atterbury titled Sensing the Rhythm, Finding My Voice in a World Without Sound. The book dives deep into her personal journey, offering readers an intimate look at the emotional devastation of losing her hearing, the process of rebuilding her life and career, and the lessons she's learned about resilience and adaptation. Each chapter concludes with a section called Making Sense of Your Rhythm, where Mandy distills the lessons from her experiences into wisdom readers can apply to their own challenges. The memoir has touched countless lives, with readers praising its honesty, vulnerability, and practical guidance for overcoming adversity. Mandy's impact extends into unexpected areas as well. Following her ACT appearance, she developed proprietary technology in partnership with electronic component distributor Avnet and Not Impossible Labs. This innovative project aims to give everyone the ability to experience music the way Mandy does, through vibration and physical sensation rather than sound alone. The technology represents her commitment to making music accessible to all, regardless of hearing ability, and demonstrates how her unique perspective has driven innovation in unexpected fields. Schools across the country and around the world have added American Sign Language to their curriculums, inspired partly by the visibility Mandy brought to deaf culture. In Brazil, her image was used in campaigns that successfully advocated for allowing students with disabilities into mainstream school systems, proving that her influence reaches far beyond entertainment. Financially, while Mandy didn't win the ACT Grand Prize, her career has provided stability and success. Her concert tours, album sales, streaming revenue, speaking engagements, and book royalties combine to create a sustainable living doing exactly what she loves. More importantly, she's achieved her goal of living a life defined not by what she's lost, but by what she's gained through adapting to her circumstances. She reportedly continues to live in the Colorado area where she grew up, staying connected to her roots and the community that supported her through her darkest times. Her message to aspiring performers and anyone facing seemingly insurmountable challenges remains consistent and powerful. Don't let circumstances define your worth or limit your potential. Forget trying to be like someone else. She often says in interviews and speeches, make up your mind that it's okay to fail, then break down your challenges and put them back together in a way that makes sense for you. Find your own rhythm. These aren't just platitudes from someone who got lucky. They're hard-won wisdom from a woman who stared into the abyss of lost dreams, chose to climb back out, and built something beautiful from the pieces. Simon Cowell himself has repeatedly cited Mandy's audition as one of his most cherished memories from his years on America's Got Talent. In interviews, he's called her a fantastic person with a great voice and incredible songwriting ability, emphasizing that the show wouldn't be the same without contestants like her. That golden buzzer moment, he said, represented everything the show strives to be. A platform where talent, determination, and genuine humanity can shine through and inspire millions. For a judge known for his harsh critiques and difficult-to-impress demeanor, his unwavering praise of Mandy speaks volumes about the genuine impact she made. Mandy Harvey proved that talent combined with determination, faith, and the willingness to adapt can overcome any obstacle life presents. Her transformation from a devastated 18-year-old who'd lost her hearing and abandoned her dreams to a globally recognized performer, author, speaker, and advocate demonstrates the remarkable resilience of the human spirit. She didn't just learn to sing without hearing. She learned to thrive in silence, to create beauty where others saw only limitation, and to inspire millions by refusing to let her circumstances write the final chapter of her story. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Mandy Harvey's transformation. What do you think about Mandy's incredible journey from devastating loss to global inspiration? Has her story inspired you to face your own challenges differently? Let us know in the comments below. If you found Mandy's story as moving as we did, which other talent show contestants should we cover next? Drop your suggestions in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another inspiring story like this one. As for Mandy Harvey, her story is far from over. She continues to perform, advocate, and inspire, proving every single day that silence is never the last thing the world will hear from someone with the courage to try. Son at 4 or 5.